If you've driven through a lot of North Country communities and communities around the country, I would assume you've seen some banners hanging up during the summer months. And they're called Hometown Heroes. And of course, the outfit called Hometown Cable ought to be talking about Hometown Heroes. And speaking of heroes, we have two heroines here. Can I call you heroes or you heroines?
Don't call us either, please. Well, I'll speak for myself. Don't call me.
No.
Let you introduce yourselves.
I'm Janet McFetridge, Mayor of the Village of Champlain.
And
Melody Trombley.
this is a committee that we're talking about here that got this done in the village.
Yes, this is a committee. Melody and Diane Morelli offered to form this committee a few years ago to organize this effort, and they really have been instrumental in having it happen.
Okay, so what is the Hometown Heroes project?
The project is, it started 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago, and it was a desire to recognize some of the people from the Village of Champlain and the surrounding community who have served in our military. And we felt it was really important to recognize them, and so we put the word out that we were going to get these banners and have them fly between Memorial Day and Veterans Day.
Okay, and it's not just for the veterans, it's for active military also.
Yes, that's correct. Active military, veterans, retired, deceased. We have, yes.
So it's Village of Champlain project, but I'm looking at Avery Trombley here, and I'm looking at my neighbor Liam Mahoney over here. It's more than just the village at the moment here, so it's you said surrounding, so people in the town have partook in this?
Yes, definitely. We originally thought it would only be in the village, but it was very hard to turn anyone down. It seemed so important that we said we need to expand it into the town.
Yeah, especially with Melody on the committee. She would have been the first one complaining.
She's not really a complainer, so I don't think she would have said anything. But no, that was important to recognize them as well.
Okay, so outside of them having served or are serving in the military, there's no other criteria, but there is a cost to this, right? So tell us about that cost part.
Do you want to explain that part? Because you deal with more the nitty-gritty of it.
Well, the cost is $225 per banner. The banners should last about 10 years, and the people who pay for them, the banners will be returned to them. We also have a little extra money set aside in the account in case one of them has a problem and needs to be redone. And so we've actually done that twice this year. We've redone 2 of the banners this year. But yeah, the cost is $225. They usually last about 2 years, and if people want to after that renew, they're more than welcome to pay another $225 and put another banner up.
A different banner, because these here do get a little weather beaten.
Yes, definitely, with the wind that we've had this year, yes,
and
definitely.
the sun dries them out. And
Yes.
yeah, so
Yes.
they're up, basically, I know they were up before Memorial Day.
They go up in mid-May, and then they will come down sometime in November.
Yeah, I went around just before Veterans Day last year, and they were gone. I said, "Oops, I waited too long."
Well, a lot of that depends on
Yeah, what the weather is.
it depends on the weather. It depends
on.
on our work crew and when we're going to put up the Christmas decorations.
Okay. Okay, so if people are interested, what should they do?
They can contact the village office. We have the applications right here by the front door.
Okay.
Fill out the application. That includes a check for the cost and a photograph, and then we will process it. We ask for those to be turned in by December 31st.
So they can get them processed.
So
for
we
the
can get 'em
coming-
processed.
Coming year.
Yeah.
So I see color photos, I see black and white. Is there a different cost, or does it matter?
No, it's all the same cost. It's whatever people have.
Okay, so.
They can also send them electronically, the photos.
I was just going
Email
to say
it.
that on the website, there is the application for it, so that they can fill it out right on the website, and we have them sent in like that also.
Okay, what's the phone number here if people want to call?
518-298-4152.
4152. All right, that's Melody's age and your age.
Exactly
41
right.
and 52,
That's right. Well, I don't
Yes.
know about her, but that sounds good. Yeah.
I'll go with that.
So if you forget, And the 298 is my age. So.
You beat me to that comment.
Okay, so we're going to look at these, and then we're going to go around the village and look at the ones that are up there. And you have information, I hope, on each of these folks a little bit. You know,
Yes.
Who,
We have a very interesting one, I think.
I bet one very interesting.
One very interesting one.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's just the story behind it,
Okay.
and who the person is.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So these three here that we're looking at right now are not up. I know Claude over here this is the new replaced one.
yes.
Are these other two being replaced, or what's happening
Well,
with the story?
this one has been up for 2 years. This is his second year, so I'm probably going to do another one, yes.
So let's start over here. Do you have information on Liam?
So I'm going to bow out.
Okay, the mayor is going to be a mayor right now.
A couple of other duties right now.
Thank you, Janet.
Thank you.
All right, here's Liam Mahoney, who, as I said, lives not too far away from me. He is active, and as soon as Melody finds his paperwork, we're going to learn all about T Sergeant, whatever that T stands for, U.S. Air National Guard Operation Enduring Freedom.
So Liam Mahoney is technical sergeant, and the conflict he served in was Operation Enduring Freedom. He lived here in Champlain, and that's about all I know about
As far as
him.
I know, he's still active in the Guard.
Still active in the Guard.
As far as I know, if I'm wrong, I'm sure he'll tell me. And he's famous for his hockey tournaments on the Mahoney Pond there.
Okay, a little more information than I have.
Yeah. Here's a guy I would not have recognized, Claude Gooley here. Claude Gooley. I would not have recognized him from this photo.
He is, let's see, his rank was Staff Sergeant. He was in the 414th Infantry, the 104th Division. He was in World War II and participated in Northern France and Rhineland and campaigns. And he is Purple Heart recipient. That's the Purple Heart.
Oh, Purple
There.
Heart. Okay.
Yep, he's a Purple Heart recipient.
Okay, that means you were wounded in action.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I knew Claude well. Went to school with all of his kids, some ahead of me, some behind me, at St. Mary's, and he worked at Harris Graphics, Sheridan Iron Works, and I knew him and his family quite well. And this fellow here, who's this?
This fellow here is Avery Tremblay, my son. He is AET. He's Petty Officer 3rd Class. He just left Kodiak, Alaska, and is now in Knoxville, Tennessee. He served on the Cutter Diligence out of North Carolina, and the Cutter Diligence is now out of Jacksonville, Florida, I believe. And he went on many patrols. He's been to Honduras and many places. So
Okay. What does AET mean?
AET is Aviation Electrical Technician.
Okay.
And so he works on Jayhawk MH-60s. And those are the helicopters that you see a lot. They're the bigger helicopters that you see. And you'll see them, they've been flying in and out of Haiti right now. And during Katrina, they were flying in with swimmers. He would have been on, if he had been able to, he would have been on one of those helicopters to lower the swimmers down to rescue people off their roofs. So, yeah.
Okay. And he's been on hometown cable before. The first time was in diapers.
Yes. Yes, when his sister started playing basketball. Yes.
And his mother was in the stands.
Yes.
with this little
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah. He was. He was 2 weeks old when my daughter started playing modified basketball. So yeah. And then you've got a video of him running around at one of the soccer games, and oh yeah, he's been on Hometown a bit, throwing a fit.
Oh, yeah.
There was one on Hometown Cable where he's throwing a fit. Yes.
Yeah. Got to get the good and the bad and the ugly, you know. So.
Oh, he's gonna love this.
All right. PO3, that is still his rank?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
PO3, Avery Trombley,
Yes.
my cousin.
Yes.
All right, when we were planning for this, we wanted to pick an overcast day. Let's see, I think I should go to the other side, however, because even though it's overcast, so we're going to keep the camera rolling here as I look across the road at the former Trombley's garage, but that's not the Trombley Trombley's. It's the Tremblay Trombleys. And I had the honor back, I know we're going to see a burl later on down the street here, and had the honor of in 1957 of walking up from St. Mary's, which is right down there, or was right down there, and looking at the 1958s that were coming out.
Oh.
Wayne Burrell, Norman Ashline, and I. Wayne's sister was going out with Dwayne Trombley, and he had the privilege of allowing us in there, so we went in there and looked at the new 58s that just come out that day. So that's back in 1957. Here is, and we always start with the A's and work our way up. In this case, we're going to come outside and start with the Y's here. Yeah. So Norbert's never been first before, but he's at the top of the list now. Norbert Yakey.
He's a master sergeant, and he is in the U.S. Marine Corps, and he was in the Korean War. He fought in the Korean War.
All right, Norbert left us a few years ago. My favorite story about Norbert is something he told to Guy Juno many, many years ago. They were playing slow pitch softball, and Guy Juno hit a ball and beat it out because he was very fast. And Norbert said, "If I had your legs, I'd be in the major leagues." The guy said, "We'll split them." We'll split the money. So Norbert Yakey, and a very familiar face. But again, I don't think I would have recognized Norbert from that photo. But I didn't know him.
So young.
I know, I didn't know him in
young.
1950s. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna head down the hill. We have moved. We're almost in front of the phone company office, and we see Lee R. LaValle Jr., U.S. Marine Corps. What can you tell us, Melody?
He is a sergeant. Actually, it says on his release or discharge from active duty that he was a corporal, U.S. Marine Corps, and he served during Operation Iraqi Freedom.
All right. And while we're thinking of it, we do want to correct, I think, a lot of traffic here on Route 9 in Main Street. We want to correct, I think earlier on somebody had said it was 10 years, but these are up for 2 years, and that's because of the weather. These get kind of weather beaten after 2 years of sitting up here. So,
Yes, exactly. 2 years.
so if you want to continue it, you'll get the banner, and it's whatever shape it's in after those 2 years. And then if you want to continue, you can just cough up another 250 and
225.
225.
225.
Okay, 250 the first time and 225.
No,
it's
225.
Oh,
Yep.
I guess I misunderstood.
225. Yep.
All right.
Yep. 225. So.
So any restrictions, any criteria that they've served, right?
Oh, the criteria is that they've served and obviously that they lived in
Yeah,
this area.
right, yeah.
In the very beginning when we first started out, we also said that a graduate of NCCS, living in the village, just criteria to keep that within our community.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, Liam didn't graduate from NCCS.
No. Okay. But he did live in the village.
Yeah, well, he lives in the town.
In the town.
Yeah. And Claude, there was no NCCS when Claude graduated.
Well, okay. I think we also said St. Mary's and Champlain.
All right, we're gonna
Because,
move.
I mean, obviously we're going back a few years,
Yeah.
so we want to hit all those different schools. And I believe that's on the application. It was NCCS, St. Mary's, and Champlain, because Champlain had a high school.
Right. Yeah. Yes, this is the 50th anniversary of Northeastern Clinton. So
Yes.
the merger took place 50 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Now we're in front of Central Nutrition, formerly known as the Central Tavern many years ago, here in downtown Champlain. And this guy, no color photos available for this fellow. Why is
No color
that?
photos for this gentleman. No, Pliny Moore. He interesting. One of our more interesting banners. He served in the American Revolution, New York State Militia. He was a captain. And back at the end of the Revolutionary War, there was no money. There was no money to pay our soldiers, and so a lot of men received payment in land. And Pliny Moore was given land in this area for his service in the American Revolution.
And he came here to Champlain and founded Champlain.
And
It was
founded
originally
Champlain.
called Mooresfield.
Was it really?
Yeah, Mooresfield, M-O-O-R-E, Moore.
Right.
But
Yes. So he's one of our more interesting ones, an American Revolution.
yeah, we see a
veteran.
bird. So
This
okay,
banner, this
go ahead.
This banner also was sponsored by Community Bank
Okay.
because there wasn't a family member to pay for it. So Community Bank sponsored this banner.
Well, isn't that nice of them?
Yes.
Whose
Yes.
idea was that?
I asked.
And you know the right people to ask.
Yes, and they offered. That wasn't going to turn them down.
And you got your information from Celine Paquette.
Yes, I did.
Right?
Yes.
Of course, Celine's a museum. Samuel V. Champlain Museum is just around the corner from us here.
Right. She filled out all the paperwork for it, and yes.
And on the other side of there, in the bottom of the Knights of Columbus building, is where the Mooresfield Press was that the McClellans ran. And that Mooresfield Press was in honor of Pliny
Pliny
Moore, but they didn't use the E. They went M-O-O-R Field. So,
Interesting.
yeah, so apparently it must have been the name instead of using Moore with an E when they did the name for the original concept here. It was Moore's Field with no E. So Pliny Moore, the founding father here in the Champlain. Okay, and we got one right down there in front of the Champlain House. Let's go down there.
Alrighty.
All right, I said in front of the Champlain Hotel, which of course is no longer here, but it wasn't really in front of the Champlain Hotel. It was more in front of Bert's Barber Shop, where I used to come and get my hair cut when I was a youngster. This is a fellow that might be familiar to a lot of people. He ran the gas station up at where Bruce LeClaire is right now. Leslie Ernest Burrell Sr., Leslie Burrell Sr.
Yes, and Mr. Burrow was in the U.S. Army Air Corps serving in World War II.
As I said, Leslie very well known in the area, and brother to that Wayne Burrell who took me over to to Trombley's garage. there,
For the
Trombley's,
1958 cars that just came out.
Chevy. See that Chevy? So the Burrows, the Trombleys are everywhere. So here's Leslie. A nice photo of him. I'd recognize Leslie.
Didn't change much from being
He
a
lost
young.
some hair.
Well, well.
We're just about to move on, and I remembered I forgot to ask you an important question. Who was the spurheader behind getting this done?
This was Missy Gooley, who put the application in for her grandfather.
I think this is her might be her grandfather, might be great grand. I can't remember if Missy's Leslie. Missy must be Leslie Jr.'s. Okay, so this would be
Yes.
her grandfather.
Yes.
Okay.
This would be her grandfather.
All right.
Yes.
Grandpa Leslie. It's a bit of a challenge here with the sky and the relatively light-colored banner to get these, but I think we're getting a decent shot here of this fellow. Who is this guy?
This is Albert Morelli, and Diane and Andrew Morelli are the sponsors of this flag, and he was a BM2. BM in Coast Guard means bowsman mate, so I'm assuming that's what he was, a bowsman mate.
Okay.
And
BM means a lot of things. That's one of them, right?
now be nice. And he served in the U.S. Navy, which would make sense. Bowsman mate would be in the U.S. Navy during World War II.
All right, and
He looks like just such a young kid.
yeah, and that young kid landed on at D-Day. He was helping them land. He was bringing them back and forth, as I recall. So we did a show with Bob Ben and I did a show with some folks on the anniversary of D-Day, and Albert was very much involved in that. Albert, a long-time chief of police here in the Village of Champlain, and worked at the Sheridan Ironworks, Harris Graphic, and all-around nice guy too.
Yeah, my daughter went to school with one of his youngest grandsons, and very nice people.
All right, Albert Morelli. All right, this photo should turn out a little better here because he's got the tree in the background to help block that sky. Who is this fella?
This is Matthew Perot. He was a master sergeant in the U.S. Air Force. He's got quite a list. He served with Allied forces in Italy, Northern Watch in Turkey and Saudi Arabia, Enduring Freedom, Iraq, Afghanistan. And now he is, this is sponsored by Matthew Perot.
Okay.
Good for him.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right. Oh, so Master Sergeant Matthew Perot here. And he didn't point out where we are. We're at the edge of Church Street. Just Albert Morelli's on that pole just beyond there, and Matthew's here. And we're going to turn around and look at another one that's just up maybe 300-400 feet behind us. All right, we've moved on. We're on the edge of end of Cedar Street here. Yeah, right in the Cedar Street intersection with Church Street, and SG, is that Staff Sergeant? What is that?
Staff Sergeant David James Clark. His sister Amanda Clark Carter is the one who sponsored this banner, and he served one term in Iraq, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and 2 terms in Afghanistan, Operation Enduring Freedom.
All right. Dave was a distant relative. His mother was Donna Castine, who was she's probably about a third cousin, I think she was. And so whenever his sister Amanda was on the basketball court, I'd call her Cousin Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
And David messaged me probably a month or 2 before he died. He said he was going to come up and he wanted to do a little story. I said, anytime. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. He's one of the victims of PTSD.
One of the 22 veterans, or one of the 22 that on a regular basis don't make it daily.
Yeah, so we miss Dave. And of course, we can't mention him without also mentioning Norm Bono, who helped him to become the man he was.
Yes. He's a good.
We've made our way up the Church Hill. We're at the edge of Meadow Lane, long known for Hicks Trailer Park back there. So an appropriate place for this fella. Who is this guy?
This is Ronald Hicks. He is Lance Corporal, and he was in the Marine Corps. Kathleen Sample, who is a French teacher at Northeastern, his daughter is the one who sponsored this banner. And that grin reminds me of Kathleen Sample so much.
See Ron in church just about every Saturday night, and you still got that grin. Still grinning. Looks like he just got away with something there when he's got that grin
yeah.
on.
Looks like he's trying to hold it in.
All right, USMC, not Gomer, it's Ron Hicks.
That's right.
This fellow has a lot of trees for the background, so that helps. Tell us who we're looking at here, Melody.
Corporal John H. Strayer, he's U.S. Army. Stacy Lucas is the sponsor of this banner, and he was a corporal in the regular Army.
Any idea what era?
No, I do not have that information on him.
Okay, because I have to plead ignorance here. I have to plead that often, but I'm going to do it again right now. I don't think I'm familiar with John Strayer. So he's up here on Church Street on the west side.
Yep.
And there he is.
Nice up-to-date picture.
We are on the corner of South Street and Church Street, and right across from Garceau's Auto Sales, if you're familiar with that, and across from the St. Mary's Cemetery. And who are we looking at?
We are looking at Kimberly Goslin, private second class. She served in the Army. Kimberly sponsored her own banner, which is really nice to be able to do that for yourself. And I've known Kimberly a long time. I've known Kim a long time. Her kids, one of her children went to school with Avery. So she's lived in the area for a while.
Well, that's not yesterday's picture then.
I'm not going to say, Kim.
Because I know somebody who went to school who was Avery, and his mother doesn't look that young either.
Watch it. Watch it.
All right. Kim Goslin.
Kim Goslin.
Where's she gone? I'm looking in the sun here, so it's tough going. There we go. We're going to have to talk fast because Melody and I are putting our lives in danger here at the exit of the shopping center here on the top of Main Street, and looking at Al Strack. Tell us about Al.
Al Strack, he was a seaman first class in World War II. Betty Trombley is his sponsor for this banner.
His daughter.
And yeah, he served in World War II. U.S. Navy.
All right, Al, very well-known figure. He worked one of the top people at Sheridan Harris Graphics, and very active with the American Legion. He fought for that Legion right up to the end. Him, and I'm particularly thinking of his cohort, Gerald Mayo, that really worked hard to keep that American Legion 767 going, and unfortunately, with the passing of people like that, that Legion no longer exists. But Al Strack, a very good guy and a well-respected individual. All right, we've just walked about, 18 miles to get here?
Sure. I'll go along with that.
Uphill, too.
Both ways.
Well, when we go back, it'll be uphill again. We're just a little south of South Street on Main Street, and we're looking at another fellow who was very active with the American Legion. Tell us about Leon.
Leon was a sergeant.
Leon Dupuy.
Leon Dupuy was a sergeant in the Korean conflict, and his sponsor is Marie Dupuy.
And the mail is here.
Yay! Have a good day.
Must have delivered mine already.
Yep. So yes, he was U.S. Army in the Korean War.
All right, I gotta find them again here with the sun. The sun blocks out my viewer. Okay, he was in the Korean War.
Yep, he was a sergeant.
All right. Sergeant Leon Dupuy, son of one of the sons of Ma Dupuy. And people who at my age remember Ma Dupuy's downtown Champlain. That was everybody's hangout. A good, clean place to hang out too. It was. Now, directly across the street from Leon is this fellow. Tell us about Mr. Ketterer.
Keith Ketterer. He was U.S. Army. He was in Desert Storm and Enduring Freedom. SFC. I am not quite sure what that means, what that stands for.
Maybe Sergeant First Class, I would guess.
Okay.
No?
I like that. Sergeant First Class.
That's a guess. Good guess, but
I think that's a pretty good guess.
Oh, well, let's hope so. Okay. And who paid for it?
Mr. Ketterer.
Okay. Welcome to Main Street, Keith Ketterer, SFF. Now in the corner of South and Main, on the east side of the street, and who are we looking at?
We have Sergeant Frank Glode. He served in the U.S. Army during World War I, and his banner is sponsored by Marie Dupy.
All right, I assume it's a relative of hers. Glode name, well known.
Child. That would be her. Supposedly, that would be a relationship to Honoree. Oh, she was the child of Frank Glode.
Oh, well. World War I veteran. Or not sure if Jimmy Glode was related to him. A long time when I was a kid, our Metropolitan Insurance man would stop in for the payment every month or whatever. Back then you had to stop in. I can't imagine selling life insurance that way, but Jimmy Glode, and of course Bing Glode just left us, so I don't know if they're any relation at all, but we know it's related to Marie Dupy, right?
That's right. She is the daughter.
All right, you got that picture? What's that other picture here?
Oh, we have another picture.
Yeah, we'll show that a black and white one here, if I can get the glow out of my camera here so I can see it. There we go. There he is.
Looks like winter dress.
Yeah, that is his World War I outfit on.
Yep.
We're continuing to make our way down Main Street, and we're looking at Francis Dumas.
Corporal Francis Dumas, U.S. Marine Corps. This banner is sponsored by Carol and Frank Dumas, which would be children, or son and daughter-in-law
Right, Frank.
of
Frank's
Francis.
father.
Yep.
Yeah.
U.S. Marine Corps.
Yeah, and I think Francis here died, I think it was 1967. He drowned in the river just down here. He was out fishing and fell overboard, and I was leaving the work at Sheridan Iron Works, and came across the search, and it's something that always stood in my memory as they were searching for him. And so Francis Dumas served in the Marine Corps and passed away at a very young age in 1967. Okay, we made our way a little further north, and we are come across another familiar name in town. Who is it?
Corporal Armin Carden. That smile, I've seen that smile up several times. Corporal in the U.S. Marine Corps in World War II. Yeah, that picture depicts him pretty well. He always seemed like a fun-loving guy to me.
Yes, he did. Okay, Armin Carden, World War II.
His son, Roy Carden, and I would imagine the rest of his children were sponsors for this. I just have Roy's name on here.
Okay, so Alan, Dale, Carol, if you haven't coughed up yet, now's your
Talk
opportunity.
to your brother.
All right, Armin Carden. We're getting closer to the village office, and we've got the person I don't think I'm familiar with. Who is this?
This is Staff Sergeant Jeremiah Maddie. He served in the U.S. Air Force. He is sponsored, his banner is sponsored by Mark Maddie, which is his dad.
Okay, parents are allowed to do that, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And he's currently serving.
Okay.
Says he's currently serving. He's an E5.
Wow. It's kind of like that Avery Trombley fellow.
Well, actually, I had wanted to say this. Avery just got out.
Oh,
Just
in his
with
20 years?
Yeah. Yeah. No, he just got out of the Coast Guard. So
Okay.
now he's come to the real world. Gonna love that.
Welcome to the real world.
Welcome to the real world.
We got one more to find, and we darn well better find him.
Yep. We're gonna try to find it.
We are going to wrap this segment up on Village of Champlain, Hometown Heroes, which you may have caught on includes some town of Champlain folks too. And we're looking at a fellow who has a sad ending to his story. Go ahead, tell us.
So he's Private First Class Honoree Julius Buskey. He served in the U.S. Army in Vietnam and was killed in Vietnam. He's sponsored by Celine Paquette.
Honoree died in action in Vietnam, and Celine Paquette, who runs the Samuel D. Champlain History Center here, sponsored this. Very nice of her to do that. Right next door to the Knights of Columbus here. And again, for the folks joining us late who may have an interest in this, they can call the village office, 4152 as I recall.
Yes, that's correct.
518-298-4152. Or they can contact you.
Go on the website, on the Village of Champlain website. The application is there with all the requirements. A picture, fill out the application, and a check. The picture can be sent digitally. That's not a problem. So can the application. And
Okay.
it's all on the Champlain Village of Champlain website with all of the requirements.
All right, so we want to thank Janet McFedridge, the mayor, you, and also Diane Morelli.
Diane
for-
Morelli, yep.
for getting all this going. So we've been chatting with Melody Tremblay, and we've been looking at the hometown heroes in and around Champlain. Thanks for watching.